Hi, hello, and additionally welcome. Welcome back to another Onkruid video, welcome back to another Soulstone Survivors video, where we will be playing on curse level 34, because I noticed that upgrading your curse level doesn't actually increase the amount of minerals you get, it only increases these things, which we are not really in the need of right now, so I think we can just deplete that, unless we will need the void essences for something later, but today we're gonna go for Tin, the final map. We are playing with the Necromancer yet again. Don't at me, or as we say in Dutch, many bellen. I am just vibing. We did switch up the synergetic for the singular focus, and that is because today I want to make it into a bit of a longer episode, you know? A little bit of a marathon episode, a little bit of a Achievement Hunter, Uno the movie kind of thing. That kind of deal. You know, a little bit of a short history of Skyrim, or whatever that video is called, that details the lore of the world of Skyrim for like 6 hours. If you haven't seen that, it's quite amazing. I haven't seen it entirely, but I've definitely seen small parts of it, and just in general, like the concept of putting short in your title and then having the balls, the stamina, and for some reason the motivation to make it into a 6-hour video. Whew, that's not bad, bro. That's not bad at all. I think we are gonna go for a whole bunch of plague rats, and then we definitely need that second ability that like spreads rot on our minions. I want to go for a long run today as well, just to collect more tin, but also, or that's also why I picked singular focus this time, because I feel like we will level up enough times so that we get all the synergetic abilities without really having to farm for them or look for them at the start. Increase the damage modifier. Yeah, sure, we'll take, for the early game, we'll take some raw damage, but for the late game, we try to stay clear of that. Some helper elves. We're looking for some minions right now just to get this build going, but again, I'm gonna try and filter it out and get into... Yeah, sure, we'll keep the helper elves, maybe. It's already falling apart. I get enticed so quickly by like upgrades with crazy little colors. I'm like a kid in a candy store. And then immediately I think like, alright, well now we have to keep this ability, right? Because I mean, yeah, it's increased quantity, that's like very strong. So we need to increase, we need to keep that. Ooh, here we go, some more plague rats. Are we gonna go into overlord mode or into endless mode? Not sure. Don't think it really matters, because again, we are just focused on getting the materials, which is not always easy when you're having a minion build, because sometimes you want to have the control over your projectiles yourself to make sure that you can immediately get rid of all the ores that you see. I think I will this time around also go for a build where we double bloodlust, that's maybe a bit sus, where we upgrade our spontaneous combustion and venomous powers, where we upgrade the damage of our negative effects themselves, just like that, you know? Because otherwise I would pick things like area and stuff as well, and pick that over the upgrades for the negative effect, but actually that doesn't seem to be all that sensical at all. Here we go, debilitating plague. Our build is already online right now. We are definitely still looking for that one. I don't think we're going to keep skeletal archers, but I think a movement speed upgrade will help us out in the long run. Just one movement speed upgrade is going to be fine for now, because I'm not really planning on taking Leviathan upgrades. Already you can see that we are dealing shitloads of damage to the lords, because these rats are just so bountiful and plentiful, and they hit with so much damage. We are still looking for some other pieces of the puzzle in this build. Gangrene is very nice. Relentless, sure. Give me this Lord kill as well, please. Easy enough. And then only Colometh, the incarnation of ice, remaining. There we go. Easy enough. Let's leave that gem on the ground for a little bit. Maybe make a little circle around the map. Then come back and use it to pick up all the experience that we left behind. It's always a bit more satisfying to get like a giant influx of experience orbs instead of just having like a steady flow. And that is why day trading will always be better than investing in ETFs, right? Is it ETFs? EFT? I don't know. The joke landed a little bit, but I think it would have landed better if I would have been like a capable member of our human society and known my abbreviations. EFT? ETF? I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure. I seem to recall it being ETF, but I'm not sure. I have one of them. If you don't know, by the way, when you are investing in the stock market, and disclaimer, this is going to be a very short-sighted account. It might not really capture everything that has to be said or can be said about it, but you can invest in just singular stocks, which is just like, hey, this company produces Monster Energy drink and I drink 15 cans of that a day, so I will invest in them because I think that I will increase the profits of this company on my own. Or you can also invest in ETFs or EFTs. I'm gonna call them ETFs, but I'm not sure. Which is kind of like a conglomerate, if you will, a conglomerate taking a whole bunch of stocks together. Stocks related to, and also like smaller sizes of stocks, I think, but related to, most of the time, companies that are just like doing well. They are kind of like the safe bets of the stock market, you know? If there is not a giant financial crisis, they will always be going up. As long as the economy is thriving, or not even thriving, but just like healthy, they will keep going up. Oh, there we go, that's what we need. Goodbye, skeletal archers. Interesting. Oh no, I was gonna say interesting, they remain even if you don't have the skill anymore, but they don't. I think all my skeletal archers are gone. It's just the skeletal mages that I still see, and if I knew I had skeletal mages, I would have definitely replaced them first, because I think skeletal archers are still a bit stronger. But either way, they are like the safe bets of the investing world. I must say I have one of them then, the top 50 Europe companies or whatever, or Europe tech companies, I'm not really sure. And when the war in Ukraine started, you could notice that, you know? You could definitely notice that. But now it has kind of balanced out a little bit again already. Well, not even a little bit, it has definitely just balanced out again. Yeah, we're getting insane amounts of experience here. Increased potency for the bloodlust, some relentlessness. I think we are really strong right now. We have a nice and focused build. A bunch of focus on upgrading our negative effects. And we still have one gemstone here remaining to get all of the experience on the map if possible. The ETF, EFT, I need to stop saying it if I'm still not sure, but also pays out dividends. So just having it for a while also gives you some extra cash. And just having one is not necessarily like amazing or crazy, right? It's normally something you invest like thousands of dollars into, and then you can see it turn into $1,200 or something, for example, after a couple of years, if everything goes right. If a narcissistic, bald Russian man doesn't all of a sudden feel like expanding his territory, you know? It's just a safe bet. It's way more safe than investing in meme stocks and hoping them to give you a nice turnaround. How much hounds spawn? 2 putrid hounds, a maximum of 7. 7 is not that bad. Ask Monica from France. I think 7 is a-okay. We are definitely just waiting for the Putrefy build activation, trying to upgrade this skill and its damage, I think, because I think this is like the main damage dealer for us right now. Although it seems like the just basic damage of our monsters in and of itself is also doing the works, is also doing quite a lot. Now that I say the works, I get reminded of a video I watched yesterday when I was chilling after work a bit. Watched a video about 2 guys, an American and a British person, trying out full English breakfasts at 3 different places. And one of them also had, or maybe 2 of them even also had, a dish called The Works, which is basically like a way of saying like, yeah, give me everything, give me the whole lot. Give me the whole package. That's what The Works implies, I think. And it looked delicious. I am all for an English breakfast, you know. Definitely. Some nice eggs, some nice sausage, toast, beans, a fried up tomato, some black pudding. Ooh, yeah. You can definitely satisfy my tummy. My tummy with a little bit of that full English. It doesn't even have to be full English breakfast, you know, just any of those segments, any of those aspects, any of those elements in the morning, any type of day really, will satisfy my needs. Something I don't really eat that often. I remember when we used to go to vacation, when we used to go on vacation to Scotland quite often, we would have our fair share of full English breakfasts. Now it has kind of diminished a little bit. Area of effect, I think this is a worth upgrade for now, but just like for once or twice. We don't need to keep upgrading our area because I don't think we will need that. I don't think we will need extra area upgrades, you know? I am wondering whether they could implement a feature where, like, if you hover over it, you see a little outline to where your bloodlust reaches. That would maybe be interesting. And I think it would be not too hard to code that into the game, although I am very naive when it comes to that, because I don't have any experience. I shouldn't say not any experience. I tried to dabble in some game development sometime, but it was just like really making a very simple project based entirely on the YouTube tutorial I was watching at the moment. It was still a fun experience though. I'm not sure what the engine was called that I did it in. Was it? No, it was not Unreal Engine. Was it Unreal Engine? I'm not sure anymore. I know there was like something very famous for game developers, for people that want to dabble into it, but I'm not sure. It wasn't the Godot, the Godot engine. I think that's an engine where they strip away some of the hard parts, to put it very bluntly, and they make it a bit more user-friendly for you to create games. Was it Unreal Engine? What is it that you have free access to on the internet and you can just start creating games right from the start? I guess it might just be Unreal Engine, right? I'm not sure. In my mind, I feel like it's something else that uses Unreal Engine, but I'm really not sure. It's a little bit early still. This is the first video I record today. Hopefully the first of many, but I also have to do some work stuff as well. Only have one client, so it's not that, but I have to write some reports and I really have to work on my diagnostic report. I also have to make a flyer, or I don't have to do that, but I offered to make a flyer for one of our group session things, the one that I am actually gonna give. So I definitely need to put some work into that as well, because that has been asked a while back. And we still need to respond to an email regarding like a specific type of project I am getting into, where clients will have to start paying less money to see me, and the government or the overarching institutions will then pay me back the difference, the money that they don't have to pay me. Very beneficial, a very nice evolution in the landscape here in Belgium, but it is still like very much a gray area. It's not sure whether it's actually like a good alternative, whether it will just work and stuff, so still a bit we need to be a bit careful. We need to be a bit careful around that. Oh, this is the last Lord of the Void already, and then we will head into Overlord mode. Just made the decision based on nothing and all, but I just want to get a little bit more of those. Ooh, increased quantity. It's very nice. A little bit more tin, because otherwise it's just gonna take me way too long, and it does mean that it's gonna be a nice and long video for you guys. Buckle up, enjoy. Gonna take a nice little sip of coffee, because this build is definitely just like AFK at the start as well. I can just stand here, and even if I get hit by one of those meteors, it won't be too much of a biggie. But we still have both of our revives, which is quite awesome. We have been playing well, I guess is what you could say, but you don't really need to say that, because, well, we haven't really been doing that much actively ourselves. It's just our rats. And this is maybe like the build that I want to be going for. I might even replace the Bloodlust with another Putrefy if we do get the chance, because I think that that's going to be more beneficial. But multicast for all the summon abilities. Yes, please. Yes, please. Look at how many rats are here. Holy shit. It's quite a cool build. I think we will go for one touch of ice upgrade, because we need to get like hypothermia and thermal shock and stuff. That's gonna be too much, right? Or, well, increasing their movement speed. So I think I'm not gonna do that. I think I'm gonna leave it at this. Get a little magnetic upgrade, because right now the XP is flowing in from these new stronger monsters. And we will just head straight into fighting Lords of the Void in a second. I see that there are 20 now, so a little bit more. Does that mean that there will be 4 at a time spawning? Probably, but I think we will be able to manage it well. Manage it well like Steve Jobs when he was alive. And he was the ruler of the Apple world. And I'm not talking about the fruit. Yeah.
My mental might be falling apart a little bit, but I'm still here, I'm still vibing, I'm still standing, better than I ever was, ever did, ever can. Yesterday, I remember this because this guy that I'm just gonna talk about in a second always sang Elton John a while back. But played a League of Legends game together with my buddy Simon, and I'm not talking about my nephew Simon, I'm talking about the other Simon in my life, the one that you might know from one of my Minecraft videos earlier in the day, the one that you might know from my Heroes of the Storm shenanigans videos. His name is Barshafol online most of the time. And he hadn't played League in more than a year. We looked at his match history. His last League game was in February of the previous year. So that was really like fun that he just accepted. He didn't even have the game installed, but he was just like, yeah, you know, alright, I'll install it and I'll play a game together. We got our ass handed to us. We really got beat up quite badly, but that is, I think, kind of like unavoidable at that moment. Our team was also being a bit sussy, a bit toxic towards each other, which is not always that helpful when you're trying to play a team game like League of Legends. So that didn't really help us out in the long run, but we had fun, I'm sure about that. The first, like, legitimately the first almost 5 minutes of the game, I thought like, oh damn, Simon is really getting into it. He is really concentrating right now. He isn't saying a word. And then we had like an amazing fight. And I was like, damn, that was well played by us. We really did that well. Simon? Oh, are you muted? And we realized that he had just been talking to himself for the first 5 minutes. Probably like communicating like, I'll get this minion, I'll get that minion, I'll take the cannon minion, I'll engage right now. And I was just like, alright, he's very silent. That's quite difficult because he is my support at this moment. So I would kind of want to know what he is up to, what he is thinking, what he is doing. But I didn't have any intel at all. And then after a while we realized that he was giving me intel alright, but I just was not receiving it. So more venomous upgrades. The venomous upgrades probably don't increase like the rot that we apply in any way, shape or form, right? Sadly enough. There's not a rot damage upgrade, I think, because I think that is something we could really be using right now, because we just apply immense amounts of rots to the enemies. Look at that. Is that like 2k stacks? I think it is, right? Holy shit, look at those health bars. We have a strong build here. I can assure you that. I just love this new Necromancer weapon, and I love the Plague Rats. They are maybe one of my new favorite abilities and one of my new favorite builds in the game. Which, I mean, I don't even have to explicitly state, I think, because you have seen me playing with them for the past 3 or 4 videos. So you definitely know that I love this build. Might be a bit boring for you guys to look at, but don't really care about that. No, don't really care if you find this boring to look at. I was gonna say look at something else, but that's not necessarily what I'm aiming for. I should say put it on your second screen and just listen to my rambles. A little bit of increased damage there. I think we have enough multicast potential already to fill the screen up with rats most of the time. I say right as I get into another multicast ability. I think we might want to focus on the raw damage a little bit just to speed up the kills for a second. But these rats are definitely potent. How are we looking on tin? I hope that counter... Oh! I just now, and this is a bit sus by me maybe, but I just now noticed that we are on another map actually, of course, after going through the portal. So we are not collecting tin anymore, but we are collecting silver right now, which is equally as good because we still need a hell of a lot of silver as well. So this approach is actually a-okay as well, because we still need a bunch of all the materials, I think, to craft the new weapons that we still haven't crafted. Yeah, alright, cool. It's quite concerning that I only noticed it after being on this floor for probably like 6-7 minutes already, but I mean, yeah, you can't pay attention to everything, right? The only thing I am paying attention to right now is that our FPS is kind of dying a little bit. My game is getting destroyed because of all the reds that I have. But we need it. We need those reds for our strong build. So, I'm sorry computer, you're gonna have to sit this through, you're gonna have to power through. Yesterday I powered through some Cuphead levels, defeated my first boss and cleared out the first level after a couple of attempts. A game gifted to me by my good friend Berglucht a whole while back, yeah, like legit years back already, and I never not found the time, but never invested the time to actually play it. He told me like, hey, maybe you can record this for your YouTube channel. So I definitely wanted to record it. And yesterday I was just like, you know, I am in the unedited era of my YouTube channel right now. Also, Noita videos and stuff are not edited anymore. It really wouldn't take too much effort for me to just boot up a random game right now, record that a little bit to add some more variety to my channel again. And I just did that. I did that. I played Cuphead. I had a blast. Lovely game. Lovely aesthetics. They also turned it into a little TV show kind of thing. I watched it together with my buddy Krogrin and my girlfriend Charlotte and his girlfriend Celine when we were at his home. Just doxed everybody in my friends group. I don't know why I did that, but makes it a bit more personal, you know, if you know the people's names. So that's maybe why I did that. And that was fun. It was very funny. Just like childly animations, retro vibes, but then some real shit in there as well. Like selling your soul to the devil in a casino, for example. And the game is well known for being hard, for being the Dark Souls of indie games, like every journalist calls a hard game. But I'm scared to say it because I know very well that this is gonna sound naive because I've only played like a very, very small amount of the game so far, but I was doing a-okay, you know? I think I was messing around a little bit in that second level. I could have actually done it a bit faster, but the first boss fight, I only needed 2 attempts. And the first boss fight is definitely going to be the easiest boss fight of them all. It was just like, hey, you see these projectiles flying at you? Dodge them. And that was pretty much it. So it's definitely going to get way more difficult, and I am going to get my mouth shut by the game. Oh, there we go, first revive for sure. But I am looking forward to finding out, to fucking around and find out and seeing what that game has to offer. And just as like an homage to my boyfriend, my buddy Berglucht, and his amazing gifting prowess and just his friendliness of gifting me some games. I want to definitely make a little series in that game. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it completely, but I am definitely gonna record a couple of episodes. Maybe that's what I will do right after this one, or maybe a Noita episode first and then something else. The possibilities kinda endless. Kinda endless right now here on the Onkruid channel. Also made another, second revive, another psychology video yesterday and uploaded it today, which is very, very nice as well. That needs to be a bit more represented on my channel again, because I know that I love watching it in other people so much. There's this channel, Anna Psychology, and I really, really, really see you in the next one. I really love her videos, is what I meant to say, but we were playing a bit sussy right at the end. What did we get? So 133,000 damage on the Putrefy, and the Plague Rats are also doing a bit of damage on their own. A lot of materials gathered, still not enough in the slightest to actually construct any new weapons, I think. But no, that Anna Psychology girl, she really makes clearly structured videos about psychology and about clinical psychology. She is a trusted source in my books, and additionally, she always talks about topics that really, really help you in your day-to-day life. A lot of her focus is on relationships, for example, and she talked recently about a very interesting concept about the Sound Relationship House, developed by a psychologist called Gottman. His last name is Gottman, but I need to remember last names because I'm a quiz person. And I immediately was able to use it the very next day in one of my sessions with my client. So really just like a good channel. And I want to be like that in some way, shape or form too. So that's why psychology videos and just regular old me talking and rambling videos, informative videos will be coming up more on the Onkruid channel as well again, hopefully. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.